Yep.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the DeKalb Township Board of Trustees meeting. It's November 8th at 6 p.m. Clerk, will you call roll, please?
Absolutely. Trustee Bradlow.
Here.
Trustee King.
Present.
Trustee McNutt.
Zoom.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Trustee Thurman. Present. Supervisor Hess.
Here.
Highway Commissioner Smith and Assessor Dyer. Present.
So what's not on the agenda, I'd like to make a motion to allow Trustee McNutt to participate remotely.
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Thurman.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Aye.
Trustee Bradlow.
Yes.
Trustee McNutt.
Aye.
And Supervisor, well, I guess you don't vote on it. Sorry. And Supervisor Hess.
Yes.
With 4 ayes, 0 nays, the motion passes.
Okay. Right, thank you. Please stand for the pledge, please. And with it being Veterans Day week, our veteran will lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So you know. So you're done,
Yeah.
Okay, next on the, we have approval of the agenda. And with that, I'd like to, make a motion to move reports to follow new business. Trustee Thurman may, depending on how things move along, may have to leave earlier in the meeting tonight. So, making a motion to do that, does anyone second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? So we have that. So moving on, public comments, no one from the public here. Moving into bill paying. Can I get a motion to approve the October audit report in the amount of $316,397.80 and the November bills to pay in the amount of $42,843.85.
A second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee McNutt.
Yes.
Trustee Thurman.
Yes.
Trustee Bradlow.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Aye.
And Supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
Next, can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve the treasurer's October budget report?
So moved.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
All right. Trustee King.
Aye.
Trustee Thurman.
Aye.
Trustee McNutt.
Aye.
Trustee Bradlow.
Aye.
And Supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion again passes.
No unfinished business to touch on, so moving into new business. First, we have the approval of the 2024 DeKalb Township building hours, board meeting, and holiday closing calendar. So I do apologize, the pages are out of order. So that is actually on page 25, as you're scrolling through it, looking for it. So the, well, first, can I get a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second. Discussion is whatever we'll go into. This is the calendar that we've been following this Board of Trustees meetings, the second Wednesday of the month, with the exception of April, where we have that on a Tuesday. The 2024 holiday closings are what we get these. It's the same as the DeKalb County court calendar. So that's are all of our holiday closings, and then the township building hours of operation continue to be 8:30 to 4:30, with the question of with Karen staying here later, does she keep the door open that we need to modify? No, okay, all right, so keep it at 8:30 to 4:30, okay. So any questions about that? Yeah. So all those in favor of the meeting dates, holiday closings, and building hours, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. And then next we have approval of resolution 2023-008 T, awarding annual human service funding. Can I get a motion to bring this to the floor?
So move. Second.
Okay. So these are the annual request for funding that we get from human service agencies. On page 26 is a summary of those that submitted requests this year. 17 agencies, and then what program the funds would be supporting. And then there's a little bit of a history of what they've received in years past. You'll notice this year we have some new ones, consumer credits. We've done some collaboration with them on offering webinars on all things related to budgeting and improving your credit score, and they've provided us with some materials that we can pass along to our GA and EA clients. And another new one is Goodfellows. They had written an informal request earlier this year, and we let them know about that this is the proper channel to request the funds. If you're not familiar with them, they operate around Christmas time each year, and they do a variety of fundraising to be able to purchase clothing for families in need. And they have a whole team that goes out and purchases the clothing, and then they come back and they're doing the wrapping and the delivery of it. And they serve quite a few families in DeKalb Township. So while we didn't fund their entire request, we did provide some funding for them. The reason we chose not to fund the whole thing is that it's a one-time service. We don't know what kind of impact it has on families. It's quite frankly kind of pushing it that it falls under the township code. So it is a social service for the poor, but there's really no follow-up on it.
Maybe they could come and talk to us. You know how we have people come and talk to us,
Mhm.
maybe we can invite them. Makes me a
And
little nervous when I say that.
I don't know.
That's all 5 and 7.
Oh, okay, so,
So those were the two new ones this year. Dale, would you add anything?
I was just looking, never mind, I see it now.
Anyone have any questions about it? The process is the applications were returned to us. We have a rubric that we use to make sure that everything we requested in the application is there. That the organizations do fall within one of the allowed services under the township code. And then we look at how many families or individuals they serve in the township, what their revenue streams are. And so everything is scored on our grant rubric. And that's how we determine what the funding is. And because we allocated the amounts, the full request amounts really fell under what we allocated this year in the budget. We were able to fund the majority of them at 100%.
Do you know what the Earn While You Learn program is?
The Earn While You Learn program, oh yeah, that is another new We Care Pregnancy Center. So that is for individuals, women who are pregnant or maybe have babies. They can participate in parent education sessions and they earn points through We Care. And then We Care has like a shop set up in their facility. And so using their points, they can go get a car seat, they can get clothing, they can get diapers. And so they're earning it,
Yeah,
learning and
and earning,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, you know, when I read about that, I was like, I wonder if we can institute something like that here where you reward people, because sometimes like even the employee assistance, so, how do you, I don't know if that's appropriate, but how do you manage your money? So you learn money management skills, so you don't come back and you get so many points when you go through this, and I don't know if we could do something like that. When I read about that, I thought that was phenomenal. I was like, I wish I'd have thought of it.
yeah, they do some great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I asked because I had to second it, so it sounds good. So back, oh, there, okay. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Any other questions or comments? All right, well, in that case, roll call, please.
Trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee King, trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
Trustee Thurman,
Yes.
and Supervisor Hess.
Yes,
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
thank you. Next, we have approval of minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting of October 11th, 2023. And I get a motion to approve those.
So moved.
And those would be on page 29. I'll second. Discussion? All those in favor? By saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? Okay, minutes are accepted. So then we'll move into reports, supervisors report. Last month we had the shred events. And then I was away for a couple days at the Sims conference. Sims is the software that we use for cemetery mapping. And I am happy to say that Evergreen is all done. All of the information has been entered in there. So we now have a map that we can look at that tells us which graves are occupied and which ones are technically it indicates on this map that they're available, but now we have to do the process of probing or figuring out if maybe over time a headstone sunk into the ground or went missing. Because what happens oftentimes is, this happens at Oakwood, that a family will come out and select a grave where they want a loved one buried. And then we have to probe into the ground to make sure that there's nothing there, and there is, but the headstone's missing. So it's sometimes
It's just never one put it.
Yeah. So it's sometimes a mystery. So we've made significant progress at Evergreen to at least know what's occupied and then where we have to go look at. And so over the course of hopefully the next 6 months, we'll get Oakwood done as well. And then figure out what we think are the open graves, whether or not they are actually open. We're going to be able to, through this map, mark where veterans are buried, and then we could get on with the Boy Scout program where they come and place flags at the graves because we'll be able to direct them exactly where to go. And then people who call us to ask where loved ones are buried will eventually be able to have this online so they can look it up themselves.
Much needed.
So it's kind of exciting. So anyway, that's what the conference was about. And then the next week, there was a general assistance conference that Casey and Erica went to, and I participated virtually. And that talked a lot about the new laws that are in place to the general assistance code that's in the Public Aid Act, where you can no longer, after the first of the year, people who have drug offenses used to be ineligible for general assistance. Now they will be eligible. And so they talked about some of those laws. And then this week on Monday, the DeKalb County Mental Health Board had a event where they revealed the results of their survey. Lisa will probably be touching on that a little bit more. It's a well-attended event. Yesterday, we had a table set up at the public DeKalb Library for voter registration and just to disseminate information about the township. And then this morning, Jennifer Yoakum was here from the city of DeKalb to talk about their housing preservation program. So now we know what the city of DeKalb does for low-income people, for home repairs, as well as Habitat for Humanity. So, you know, it's not often that people come to us for assistance who own their own homes, but when they do, we can certainly share this information. And someone from the assessor's department participated in both of those presentations as well, because he certainly has a lot more contact going out in the neighborhoods.
That's my field representative, Scott.
We are closed on Friday in observance of Veterans Day. Last week we had a new server installed. There's 2 servers that are in the building. The assessor's office has their own server, and the road district and the supervisor's office share a server. So that was it was a multiple day event. Our Mike, our IT guy, was doing stuff remotely, and so it was. But there was very few disruptions to us. I thought it was pretty seamless.
Yeah. Did a lot of work over the weekend.
Yeah.
I've had some individuals who have loved ones buried at Oakwood Cemetery that are very interested in the preservation of that cemetery and have asked if we could maybe have a committee where they could get involved and help execute on some projects. And so I talked to Brad about it, and it's certainly a direction we can go. Originally, they wanted to raise funds for beautification of the cemetery for things that aren't necessarily maintenance related. And I think they've since decided that keeping Oakwood in its natural state is something that they would like to see. So I'm gonna have a meeting with them before the end of the year and just kind of make sure that we're on the same page. So I'll be providing updates on that. On Monday, well, this weekend is starting on Sunday is the TOI conference. On Monday, we're hosting a utility clinic here in conjunction with our Senator Sue Resin's office is co-hosting it with us. And as we're starting heating season, it's gonna touch on being energy efficient, looking at your bills, making sure, you know, you're not being charged for things that you necessarily don't use, or, you know, that you're, especially for rentals, that it's on the right meter, because we've seen that happen in the past. Suppliers, that you're not being overcharged. And then we'll touch on the financial assistance to the township, as well as LIHEAP and some of these other energy efficiency programs. 11/20, the following Monday, we have the Decennial Efficiency Act meeting at 6 p.m. here. And then on 11/28 and 11/30, we're hosting public meetings for the Committee on Youth to invite members of the public who may be interested in serving on that committee to come for an information session so we can tell them about what the Committee on Youth has done historically, what the commitment is, and so forth, to get that up and running again. And then since we won't see each other again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So, questions about any of that?
I had a couple of questions. The cemetery, like people really get into
They
that.
really care.
They really
Yeah,
do.
there's quite a few people.
There's
there.
been a lot of accolades to the road district for the condition of the cemetery now versus what it was. When,
Oh, yeah, I remember when I first started and he started and that was like a thing. Yeah,
That's all right.
Yeah, so it's always interesting to me to hear that.
Yeah.
I was wondering, actually, I drove past there one day and there was a guy, well, I drove past the one on,
7th and Taylor.
I don't think that's the one.
Kitty corner from the,
The other one is behind a church. You can't really see it from the road.
you wouldn't be driving by there because the bridge is up.
Okay, so I drove,
Ever.
okay, and I saw a guy, I guess, mowing the lawn. And I was wondering, when people get buried, is that us or is that the funeral homes?
We work with Image Monuments who does the excavation. And then the funeral home helps with the arrangement. We're really hands-off.
Okay, all right. I was just curious. I don't even know why that came to mind. I just thought, hey. wonder-
Yeah, I'm out there with the shovel.
Yeah, getting it all set up. This electricity meeting that you're talking about, will you be there? Are you gonna be at the conference?
I'm gonna be at the conference.
Oh, okay.
So Casey is gonna present on township programs, and Kim will be here as well.
Okay. Okay, and the COI meeting, is that advertised someplace or will it be
It will be
advertised?
advertised. We're having 2 sessions. On the 28th, it's gonna be at 6 p.m. to get people who work during the day. And on the 30th, it's gonna be at 10 a.m.
Okay, and do you know where it'll be advertised?
Oh, social media, we'll do a press release, so it'll be on the radio, in the paper. We will send it to our partner organizations.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, clerk's report,
On report.
highway commissioners report.
We started leaf pickup this week. We've expanded to a lot of areas this week with a lot of positive, talked to a lot of folks, on areas that we've never done leaf pickup before, and, they're very excited and thankful for that. You are gonna start seeing on the credit card right now, I'm trying to get it transferred, that, we've taken on new portable two-way radios. We've always had two-way radios that are mounted in all the vehicles. The only cost to us is the actual radio when I replace a piece of equipment. Now this is actually these radios, the radios that are permanently mounted. Because of DeKalb and just all that's going on here, are failing us. So these these are based off the cell towers. And they're also, because we are a governmental entity, they go on the emergency list for that, so we can. If there's an emergency situation in the area, they jump over, they will kick you off the cell tower and allow us to use it. Which is nice. It's a $10 per month fee per radio. The radios are $1,200 a unit. You own 3 of them, or purchase 3 of them. And then Karen, that has a phone from the road district. She has an app on her phone, so we can then communicate to her via that way. And then I will probably, as in going into next year, if we bring on someone part-time, we'll take my radio and then I will put the app on my phone as well. That's an $8 charge. So that's something you'll see new. It hasn't come in crazy helpful right now to be able to communicate. And quite frankly, it was something that has been a struggle for quite a few years. So we ordered these radios a year ago. So it's taken us that long, or Motorola, to get them to us. They're very handy. And it's something that, like, I can be at the fall conference
Oh.
Key up that radio and talk to someone in this township.
Okay.
Yeah, because they work off cell towers.
And then you said it's 3 total or?
3 total radios right now. I could purchase another one. I just wanted to do it for the 3 full-time, myself and the 2 full-time employees here.
Basically the old Nextels.
Right.
Yeah, and realistically, that's exactly what it is. And I mean, it's taken Motorola all this time to come out with it. Me and Mary, met with the same provider on a new camera, system for the building. Very, very elaborate. I leaned over to Mary at that meeting and said, Dale would really dig this.
You've been in your glory.
Probably a lot more than what we need here, so, but we are looking to update the system in the building. And the quote was probably more than I think is justified. For what we need here. I mean, it was very to the point of you could find someone that had a blue shirt on in the parking lot at any given moment. If you want to feed the right information. Aren't doing that, so I just wanted to say that. I know Mary talked about the personnel policy last month. The 3 of us have met. We're working forward. We have to get that done for the December board meeting, I think is our goal. Our new trailer arrived that we ordered a year ago. You're gonna hear this a lot out of me. Post-COVID, everything is a year out. So, that arrived, I picked it up Friday in Rockford, it's here. It's $58,000 trailer. We already paid the $555 when we made the purchase, so you'll see a check going out for $3,000 probably within that next board meeting. Also, the new plow truck, the cabin chassis is in the building. The set date to start building that is February. So it came in, and rather than it sit in some dusty gravel lot somewhere, I decided to tuck it away in the building. Since they're $140,000, I thought it'd be safer here in our building. I know, and I don't remember which trustee asked about salt prices for this year.
I did.
They came in, they're extreme. It's $98.95 a ton, $98.95. It's the strangest thing this year. The state of Illinois divided the contract. So like the city of DeKalb and some of the people that take in a lot more salt than we take in here are down in the low 80s by a different provider. It's actually more than salt, like the little girl with the umbrella. Ours are coming through Cargill. So it's about a little, $15 a ton cheaper, but we're down to 300 tons. 5 to 7 years ago, we were around 600 to 700 tons annually. But we treat our salt. In fact, he's coming the Monday before Thanksgiving to treat our salt, which adds a cost of $20 a ton to our salt. But what it does is it's cut back almost 50% on the usage over the last 7 years. So I think there's a significant savings there. And that chemical we use also is a green chemical, so it is no more harsh to your vehicles or the road or any streams. And it is also lowers the freeze point of salt from 23 degrees below zero to 57 below zero. Now, we don't see those kind of temperatures, but you use less of it to melt the ice on the road, especially at below zero temperatures.
So, and that's $20 per ton over the 98.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're at roughly $100 or $118 a ton. But if we were back at our old way and we're at 650 tons at almost $100 a ton, it would be a lot more money. So that is only that 300 tons. I have to per contract take 80% of it, and I can take up to 120% of 300 tons. My goal this year is to get it at the 80%. Because I've had salt around $47 a ton, so it's like a 50% increase.
So does the
That's
additive make it that?
Or yes, I'm sorry, 100% increase.
So, but the additive, it makes it go further too, like the
Yes, yes. And it's a nice green color. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna go this year.
Yeah, at the TR conference, we saw a pink additive, and we're like, a pink one, and everything.
And what's nice about this is I like the fact that it's green. Because it's a food grade calcium. like they use to keep cattle feed warm. And it was actually designed by a chemist in Austria in a gin and vodka factory or distillery. Their retention pond would not freeze, so he figured out that their byproduct that was coming from the vodka and gin, we don't drink it here, but you know, I suppose, but and there was a dairy farmer next to him, so he discussed with the dairy farmer what he was mixing with his food, which was just food grade calcium. So it does not damage the waterways and that kind of stuff. And about 3 years ago, I was at DuPage County Highway Department for a salt summit. And the EPA was there. And I know it's very hard to believe, but Gurler Road right out here where the Kishwaukee River that I crossed personally with my plow truck was one of the test spots. And it was also the lowest contaminant for salt of anywhere between here and DuPage County. But you have to remember in DuPage County, they're pouring salt 24/7 to keep the amount of traffic they have. So so that's very helpful. And last but not least is my levy, which is not on the agenda to vote on, but I did want to inform and make sure that it makes it in the minutes that my levy increase for this next budget cycle that will start in April, that we will vote on in December, will not exceed a 2% increase from the money collected for this year's budget. It was collected in this year. And I have those amounts, not to exceed, I'm not saying it will be 2%, just saying it will not be greater than 2%. That increase in dollars is $27,585.40. And if you would like to know what I collected last year, I have that number and a total number of what I will receive from my budget this year, if you want that information. So, and other than that, if you don't, that's all for me.
I'm just glad that the food grade green is, you know, eco-friendly.
I think you need to be.
Yeah, I think that's
I
pretty,
think we can.
I mean, I didn't think
Every
about it.
wildlife and everything in, you know,
Yeah.
this township, I just discussed this with Mary, this week. We are about 50% organic farmer in this township.
Oh,
You know,
Okay.
so that helps them as well, you know.
yeah.
No, I'm done, sorry.
Any other questions? Assessors report?
The deadline to file the DeKalb County Board was November 6th. That has obviously come and gone. Now we are providing our evidence to all of the people that did file to refute what they're trying to say their assessment should be. And we're collecting that evidence and submitting it to the county board. Some of the property owners are looking for hefty adjustments, and we have a lot of work to be done for that, unfortunately. Other than that, we're finalizing some final changes for people that we could help at our level, and that's basically all that I got.
Oh, how many people filed for adjustment?
Actually, this year, there's only been 90 board of review complaints for the whole county this year. The majority of them are commercial this year, which is very understandable.
Quadrennial?
No, it's very atypical. I want to say last quad year, we probably had 250 people file. This year, obviously the housing market is booming, so there isn't a whole lot of complaints from housing residential market, but it's the commercial and industrial that are, because assessments did go up to 9.53% because of the equalization factor. So that's a lot out there.
So when you go before the board, or I don't know if you go to.
I submit my evidence.
Okay, do you
Let them-
use like the township lawyer? Do you have your own assessor lawyer, or do you not need a lawyer?
Don't need a lawyer. I do all the work on my own and submit my evidence, and then the DeKalb County Board of Review can look at their evidence, my evidence, and they decide which is right, or if there's some ground in between that would be more appropriate.
Is there appeal to that process or no?
There is, after that, then they can go through the property tax appeal board at the state level. And their backlog typically, usually, sometimes year, maybe 2 years, depending on the property. But in the meantime, they would pay the higher rate, and if they do win the case at property tax appeal board, that money is refunded.
Okay. Just curious, never asked,
Oh.
never knew, yeah,
Always happy to explain.
yeah. Thank you.
Now, and I gotta say another thing, you two do the best job of explaining to me. I feel like I know stuff when I leave here. I can go talk to somebody about the salt, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's assessments. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question. This might have been for you. And it might have been, it may be a later question, so just let me know. We at one time provided money for a history museum. Do you remember that?
The county, yes.
Yeah. I don't know why that just came to my mind, but it did. Do we still do it? Do
If
we?
they make a request, then we
I
would
think
consider.
it was a one-time thing when they were building the new structure.
Oh, okay, I thought it was ongoing.
I think part of
Okay,
that was to have township.
It represented
Representation inside the building.
oh, okay, okay,
Was part of their reasoning for coming. I think they approached all 19 townships in DeKalb County.
okay. I don't know why that came to my mind, something somebody said.
Yeah, it was when they were building the new building, and to help sell us on it, they were going to present township information in the building.
Okay.
Okay, trustees reports, trustee Thurman,
No report.
trustee McNatt,
No report.
trustee Bradlow. Report. Trustee King.
I'll just share what you shared, that there was a meeting about the survey, regarding the survey that the Mental Health Advisory Board shared with the county. Right, the county. And they did it in DeKalb, because my question was, well, why in DeKalb? Are we going other places? And they said, no, because all the resources are here. And it was, I thought fairly well attended. Mary was there. And people had questions, people were engaged. There was food afterwards, people stayed to eat the food, so there wasn't like a big waste, which I think is always good. And I think we learned some things. I certainly learned some things about what is planned moving forward with Ben Gordon. And we learned some things about what some of the agencies are doing. And some other options for the young people. Is this? Oh, okay. So I think Ben Gordon and Kish, well, Northwestern, right, are doing some things so that there'll be more services available for young people with mental health concerns. And there will be probably an abundance of information that should be available soon for people to pay attention to, so that we can, I think, better serve this community. And we just haven't been able to do it because the resources haven't been there, but there have been grants written. Mary, did you have any more detail than that? I didn't like write the stuff down, so.
I have the report, if anyone would want to see it, and it's going to be on the Mental Health Board website.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I have a report too. I didn't think about that because they passed it out. And we ran out of those, so that's always a good sign. We had more than 10, so I think that's always a plus. It's almost time for the Thanksgiving holiday. For those people who celebrate, I just saw a sign that said, if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, at least take this time to rest. It was for students. We did get a question about whether or not the report was available in Arabic. So that made me think that maybe Arabic is a language that maybe we need to think about, because I know people do things in Spanish and in English. And the lady who stood up mentioned that the Arabic community was growing in DeKalb. So, did you hear her make that comment?
Yeah, I think she asked about the survey, if it was in Arabic,
Right.
and, it was, Deanna
Well,
said it was
you can-
online.
Yeah, well, because it was that Google thing, that translator, so you could do that. But I just took that as maybe the community is larger. And, that's something we should perhaps pay attention to. And there probably fewer therapists for ethnic communities. And when I say ethnic, I mean non-white. So for Blacks, for Latinos, for Arabic. And I think that was noted in the survey. And I think that's something that we should pay attention to. Because there's probably gonna be, down the line, maybe some questions or some concerns. I don't know. That's all I got. Oh, I'm sorry, one last thing. There's a speaker tonight at the university, Dr. Eddie Claude, who is a Princeton professor. And my mother reminded me that he also shares information on MSNBC. Did you know that Eddie Claude was here?
I didn't know that.
I only know because you all familiar with him or no?
I saw it online.
Okay.
He's coming.
Um,
He's an author.
Yeah, I stepped out of my car. I stepped out of the building today after teaching my class. And I saw him get out of his car. And so he's kind of like a celebrity guy, somebody you wouldn't expect to see. And I said, Professor Glove? He said, yes, sister, how you doing? And I was like, I said, so you're about to do a lecture? He said, I'm actually here for a fireside chat this evening. And so I said, oh, I took a picture with him. So I was pretty impressed. So I just want to share that in case anybody's interested or knowledgeable of him and his work. I think it's an honor that he's on campus. He's here with the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. So I guess they've been having a series of fireside chats. And I know they're talking about democracy in some regard. I don't remember all the details, but anybody who's interested in politics or history might wanna.
I think it's at 7:00.
It is at
Don't
7.
make it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Are we, well, this is a question. I don't have anything else.
Okay,
Did we vote on we did vote last week on the audit.
last month.
I'm sorry, last month. I said week. Feels like a week. So, yeah, no, I'm just joking.
Okay, no executive session, other business. I clearly made an error. Our next regular meeting is December 13th, not November 8th, that's today. And then just a reminder that the Efficiency Act Committee meeting is on Monday, November 20th at 6 p.m. And that will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second that? All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? With that, we are adjourned at 6:43. Go to your concert.
I know, I can make it. She has a solo too. So she's like, you gotta be there.
Looks like you had no